Nothing is uglier or more frustrating than a dirty, dingy, poorly running layout. So we're going to talk about how to clean your layout and your layout room on Ron's Trains and Things right now. Hi, I'm Ron of Ron's Trains and Things. For most of us, some of our least favorite parts of the hobby are layout cleaning and maintenance. However, having a clean, well-maintained layout creates a better running railroad, more enjoyable operations, and a more enjoyable environment in which to work on and operate our layouts. Now, layout cleaning includes the hot topic of track cleaning, but it also means cleaning scenery and structures for the sake of aesthetics, making everything look better. Over time, dust and other contaminants turn our layouts gray, but without being really good weathering, as well as causing interference to the operations of our trains. So by doing some maintenance and some cleaning on our layouts periodically, we have the opportunity to make for ourselves a more enjoyable hobby. Well, today I'm going to show you how I do some major annual spring cleaning of my layout to keep things running well and looking good. So let's just get started. This video is brought to you by Midwest Model Railroad. With 15,000 square feet of inventory and one-day shipping, whether in person or online, they are your one-stop model railroad shop. MidwestModelRR.com. Link in the description. The first step in cleaning the layout is to clean off the layout, removing all of the extraneous items that sometimes accumulate on a layout. If you're like me and your layout is under construction, there are lots of tools, materials, and paints, as well as adhesives that can collect in various spots where work is being done, and they need to be put away to start the cleaning process. This is also a good time to remove any models or details that could get damaged in the process of cleaning. You can replace them on the layout when the cleaning is finished. I start the layout cleaning process by dusting locomotives and rail cars. For this, I use a fine, soft fan brush to remove the dust and a vacuum held an inch or two away to suck up as much of that dust as I can. Some people will use a piece of hosiery over the end of their vacuum to keep from sucking up any detail items, but I use a shop vac that is used only on the layout, and I'm very careful not to get too close to loose items, and if something does get sucked up, I can salvage it pretty easily from the tank of the vacuum. Try to get the fan brush into the small areas that are hard to reach, like the inside handrails of tank cars and the walkways on locomotives. I use the same treatment for structures, especially the roofs. Structures that have not been dusted in a while, like this one, may take 2 or 3 passes to remove all of the dust. Bear in mind that while I use the term dust generically here, what you have here is a combination of dust, lint, pet hair if you have pets, cobwebs, and even some small flying insects that may meet their demise on your layout. We want to remove all of these contaminants from the layout. This grain elevator has lots of small spaces and seems to really collect the dust, so some real attention to those small spaces is really important here. An alternative way to remove dust from some roofs is with gel dust removers like this. Woodland Scenics markets a product like this for model railroads, but you can buy other brands from Amazon for much less. I'll post a link to this one in my Amazon Pick of the Week in the description down below this video. Now, I use these cleaners for my keyboard and for detailing my car, but for the layout, I use it in a pretty limited way. It's good for corrugated roofs like this, as it gets the dust out of the small crevices, but I wouldn't use it on scenery, and I wouldn't use it on items that are weathered with weathering powders that are not sealed with some sort of clear coat, as it can remove some or all of the weathering. So be careful and test it first. I'm also careful not to use it around finer details that might easily be broken off. For the items where I do use it, however, look at how much dust is removed from the roof in which I had already dusted with the fan brush. You'll notice that I use a small amount at a time, and when it's full of dust, I throw it away and get another bit. This way you aren't putting dust constantly back into your unused gel. I use the vacuum to remove dust and debris from the track and the scenery areas. I move the rolling stock from every track and vacuum under it as I go. This is also where it pays to make sure that your scenery materials are well secured to your layout. If the scenery is secure, it makes cleanup much easier. For tree-covered areas, I use a can of compressed air to blow the dust off. However, take care here, as the pressure from a fresh can of compressed air can cause damage to your trees and other scenery. These cans exert less pressure as you use them and the can gets cold, so I usually blow the dust off of something like my computer or laptop first, then use that can to dust trees when the pressure is lower. An older can that has been used several times will have lower pressure as well. You can also use an airbrush and the regulator on your compressor to exert lower pressure and dust trees as well. I blow the dust off with short spurts of air and vacuum up the dust. I actually use the can and the vacuum at the same time to suck up the dust as it blows off the trees, but I didn't have enough hands to do this here while filming. Now, I think it's widely known that I'm a believer in using materials that reduce the need for track cleaning. That said, I clean all of my track very well once every 2 years, and now is the time. For the cleaning process, I'd prefer to use mineral spirits, but WD-40 Contact Cleaner and Deoxit D5 are other great choices for cleaning. You want to avoid polar solvents, including isopropyl alcohol, as they can clean your track for the short term, but their chemical makeup cause your track to become dirtier and more oxidized very quickly, requiring constant track cleaning. I made a very detailed video about cleaning solvents and track treatment, and if you haven't seen it, you should. I'll link it at the end of this video. You should check it out. Here you see me applying the mineral spirits with a clean cloth and scrubbing away any dirt and contaminants. You can also use something like a CMX cleaning car to apply your cleaner, but I find this manual method is faster and more thorough. Let me pause for a moment to say if you're enjoying this video and would like to see more model railroad tips, tools, and techniques to help you build a better model railroad, then be sure to subscribe down below and click the little bell icon so you can catch future videos. I use a track treatment to help reduce oxidation and promote good electrical conductivity. There are two good options here. Many people use a micro-thin layer of graphite applied with a graphite stick just to the inside top edge of the railhead. This works well for electrical conductivity, but personally I like to use no-ox. A micro-thin application to the rails reduces oxidation and keeps trains running smoothly. I simply touch the surface of the no-ox with my finger, then run it along several feet of the rail back and forth to apply a super thin layer. You do not want too much of this product as it can work against you. A micro-thin layer is all you want. No-ox is literally the reason that I do not need to clean my track but every 2 years. And I know other layout owners who clean theirs even less often because they use no-ox. Again, check out that video that I link at the end of this description for a detailed discussion of track cleaning and no-ox. And I'll link no-ox in my Amazon Pick of the Week in the description below as well if you'd like to check it out. While I'm cleaning the layout, I also clean the train room. I put away items that have been left out of place, I dust surfaces like my computer desk and picture frames and such, and I vacuum to collect dust, and in my case, especially dog hair that collects in the room. This helps keep the contaminants from getting stirred up and landing back on the layout. As a preventative measure, I keep this large capacity air filter running in my train room at all times. My basement has been known to be pretty dusty in the past, but since I've been running this air filter for the past 2 years and changing the filter every 3 months, it has greatly reduced the amount of dust and lint in the air and on the layout. I am very pleased with how this one has worked for me, and I'll link it also in my Amazon Pick of the Week down below. One other area of cleaning is wheel cleaning. I have all metal wheels on my layout, which tend to need less cleaning, but it still needs to be done periodically. There are lots of videos out there on cleaning wheels on locomotives and rolling stock, so I won't rehash that in detail here. But suffice it to say that clean wheels will help that clean treated track stay clean even longer. Simply running your rolling stock over a paper towel on track that's treated with a cleaner, mineral spirits in my case, and also doing the same with your locomotives can go a long way towards having trains that run great for a long time. Well, this process took a whole day on my medium-sized layout, but now things are looking good and trains are running great, so time well spent. To see that full discussion of track cleaners and no-walks, as well as other model railroad content, check out the links on your screen. See the description down below for my Amazon Picks of the Week that I mentioned, as well as my website, newsletter, and the Ron's Trains and Things Crew Lounge on Facebook. And join me on Fridays as I bring you even more great model railroad videos, and I'll see you on the next video. 10, Lizzie?